Um, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I am Prabu Sulaiman Syahputra, and I am from 3A student of English Education Study Program at STKIP PGRI Lubuk Linggau. So today I will presentate about improving listening skills with fun activities. So let's get started. First, the government of Indonesia has decided that English is one of the compulsory subjects, especially for junior high school and senior high school students. The objective of teaching listening is that the students are able to understand the meaning in transactional and interpersonal discourses, which tend to emphasize interpersonal meaning variation, and to understand the oral monologues. According to this three, the one technique that is considered useful to create relaxed and pleasant atmosphere in the classroom and interesting for the learners by use one of the fun activity, which is games. Games, which are defined as activities with rules, competition, and the element of fun, can be told to raise the students' motivation. Games also can motivate students because they are amusing, speaking. Games can motivate students because they are amusing, interesting, and sometimes challenging. Games can be used to give practice in all language skills, such as listening, speaking, reading, and so also writing. Huberman in 1998 states that games offer students a fun-filled and relaxing learning atmosphere. Games give a change for students to use language in a non-stressful way. Games research studies, for example, right? Games may help learners develop their ability to work in group, to cooperate, and to compete. Some research, game can be used to support teaching and learning activities. Games are also beneficial for motivating learning process, and the students will experience the language process joyful and interesting. Thus, better achievement in the language learning can be achieved. Many experienced textbook and methodology manuals writers have argued that games are not just time-filling activities, but have a great educational value. And then games ought to be at the heart of teaching foreign language. Dixon suggests that games be used at all stages of the lesson, provided that they are suitable and carefully chosen. The use of games in the ESL curriculum requires careful planning, design, and execution. Games should not be used as icebreakers or time fillers only. They should be used as a part of instructional design. Games should be seen and used as a motivational tool. Okay, next, we are going to method. Method is using fun activity in the form of game, which is consists tic-tac-toe game, running dictation game, and whispering game in listening class. There are several reasons why, and we're going to tic-tac-toe. There are several reasons why tic-tac-toe activities work well in the classroom. Tic-tac-toe game is very simple. The simplicity of tic-tac-toe makes it deal as a pedagogical tool for teaching concepts of combinatorial game theory and the branch of artificial intelligence that deals with the searching of game trees. Because of this game using teacher's voice, hopefully it can solve the student's problem with native speech. Here's to play how you play the tic-tac-toe game. First, showing the picture and giving some question and related to the picture. Second, writing some words that relate to the topic on the whiteboard and read the words and asking students to repeat. Next, telling the students how to play tic-tac-toe game and also the rule of the game. And then you're dividing the class into two teams, A team and B team. Both A and B team should draw the grid on the board, which consists of the 9 squares. And then each student on each team chooses a number from the grids. The group A should answer. If they have right answer, the teacher will write in a square. But if they have a wrong answer and the group B can answer it correctly, the teacher will write in a square. The teacher will write B in a square. Okay, thank you. Well, while both of students come forward, the rest of the students also listen to the teacher and write the ingredients of the procedure text. Next, we have a dictation running game. Dictation has great benefits as an activity type, including the fact that students are active during and after the detection. This is good for mixed ability because it is entirely receptive, requiring no output from the student and large classes, provides access to interesting text. Another benefit is that it is a multi-skilled activity, potentially involving listening, writing, reading, and speaking. And also, it is great way to focus of attention for over-animate students or daydreamers at the back of the class. And then here's how to play. Here's how you play the dictation running game. First, you show the picture and giving some question related to the picture as a like lecture game, and then dividing, and then telling the students how to play running dictation game. Also, the rule of game, finding some short sentences and write each sentence in a paper, and then pin each paper on the tree. And then dividing the students into some groups, and all of the students in a group make a line. The first student in each group run to the first tree, read the sentence, and then remember it, run back to their group, and quietly dictates what he or she remembered. The second student. And then second student listens carefully and then writes on the paper. After that, the first student takes his or her position behind the fifth student. After writing on the paper, second student gives the paper to the third student. And the second student run to the second tree, and so on. Play this game until all the group has written down all the sentences. Next, we have whispering game. A whispering game can be done with any. A whispering game also has some main reason to be played as an icebreaker at events and as a fun game to see how language can evolve. Here's you play your whispering game. You divide the students into some group, and each group must choose one person to write down a text, to be a writer, and one person to be a runner. And all of the students in each group make a line. The first student in each group will read the first sentence, remember it, put down the paper, run back to their group, and quietly whisper what he or she remembered to the second student. And then the second student listens carefully, remember it, whisper that or he or she remembered to the third student, and so on. And then the last students in each group remembering the sentence and write it on the paper. Play this game until all the group has written down all the sentence. And then we are going to discussion. Training students to listen is one of the hardest thing in foreign language is teachers do. The implementation of game as the strategy in listening class give a valuable contribution to the English language learning. The use of this strategy, which gave learners central process in learning class, would make the students conscious of the process underlying learning. They were involved in learning more effectively and interestingly. Vandergriff 1999 states that use of listening strategies can make authentic text more accessible in early stage of learning a language, so that the process becomes more relevant and interesting to the learners. This statement is in line with the result of the comprehension using game in relation to implementation of game. The strength of game were elaborate. The game could help and encourage the student to sustain their interest and work. The student did the task in groups. They could be more responsible in doing tasks. The implementation of game can make the students more actively involved in teaching and learning process. During the process of the game, the students were active and the game also motivated students to read harder. Implementation, this game gave the student challenge to improve their listening skills when they dictated the sentence of the text that they group made. It was proved by the result of I'm sorry. It was proved by reason of research in which the game was effective in listening class and the student listening achievement can be improved. Okay, I think that's enough for my presentation. I will push the will open the question session. Question or reply?
Okay, I wanna ask from your presentation.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Wawi Purnomo, and my question is, why is whispering game can be effective for learning listening ability? So that is my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Wahyu Purnomo, for the question. Give me a second for for searching the question, for searching the answer. Okay. Okay, I will answer the question of Wahyu Purnomo. Oh, sorry. Voice whispering game can be effective for the listening section. Okay. Whispering game also has so many reasons to be played as an icebreaker at event, as a fun game to see how language can evolve. Whispering game aims to assist students with memorizing vocabulary and the spelling of words, and also to give them a chance to use vocabulary correctly. Because of these advantages, hopefully whispering game can be solve the students' difficulty to keep up of the information from the text. They listen and to complete the listening task. Okay, that is all my answer. Did you get it?
Yes, thank you so much for your question, for your answer, Prabu.
Okay, thank you so much, Wahyu Purnomo. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. And I will conclude my material today. So listening is a medium for learners to get information and to understand the language. But listening has hardly got the intention of educators in teaching and learning English and learning of English, a second or foreign language. Another reason why listening has been ignored is because there are still people who view listening as a passive skill. So that we bring a game as a fun activities to improve the students' listening skills and is increasing the listening interest people. Okay, I think that's enough for my conclusion. Thank you for attending my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.